Well, the new album, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. Is it Rugia or Ruia?
Actually, it should be pronounced Rugia.
Rugia.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is a Slavic name in archaic Slavic language. But most people pronounce it Rugia, right? Or something similar. So I have no problem with it anyway. Rugia is my version, by the way.
Okay. And is this an old Polish Slavic word, or is it further down into like the Balkan territory?
It is actually Pomeranian territory, so it's close to the Baltic Sea because it is the actually the name of an island on the Baltic Sea, which is now the German island of Rügen. All right. So Rugia is an archaic Slavic name for it,
Mhm.
and it was a religious hub back then. We're talking about 10 centuries ago, and more. And also it was like the last bastion of Western Slavic paganism, because this was the place where the famous Arcona temple was located.
Okay.
And they were pagan until 12th century, so very long time. Poland had been Christianized for 2 centuries at least, okay,
Yeah.
already. And those tribes, because we were talking about a collection of tribes living in that area, they were actually the enemies of the Polish princes and the Polish king later. So yeah, uh,
Nice. And did you choose to name the album after that island, kind of as tribute to that
yes,
resistance?
yes, exactly. You can call it a tribute album, something like that. Okay, for this reason, and especially because I was really inspired, and I still am inspired by the history of this place, of those tribes, that their culture, their beliefs, and so on, philosophies, and it melted somewhere in time, and I thought it's a good idea. It would be a good idea to restore it in a way, to remind of this great heritage. And yeah, that's why the album is called Rugia. Yeah.
Very nice. I think it seems like it almost has a parallel with modern day as well. I mean, I don't know how much truth is in Western media, but Poland now is kind of seen as like a more right-wing Catholic government. So,
Unfortunately, it's very true. Yeah, it's a
okay,
very conservative, right-wing Catholic government. Yeah, they've been in power for 6 years now.
right,
Um, anyway, it doesn't have much in common with these themes that we're talking
okay,
about, and and what can I say? It's just the archaic Slavic heritage that I'm interested in here, and yes, sure, you can relate this to the present time as well,
yeah,
on many levels, because we still have a lesson to learn from those archaic cultures, I believe. And uh, mm, and here those Slavonic tribes that functioned, that flourished, you can say, okay, long before those lands were Christianized.
mm,
um, as every mythology is like a collection of some universal stories and beliefs, and this here is no exception. I mean, I use it as a frame, and within this frame you can find a lot of meanings. You can find a lot of parallel situations to the contemporary situations and questions that surround us still the same, very much the same. So it is very inspiring to look through the eyes of those archaic people, on this existence that we're in.
No, very nice. I was wondering then, that being said, you've done the music video, Resurgence, which is an awesome video. It's so, what's the word? It's just cool. It's just really cool. But I was wondering if it's actually been filmed on this island.
No, it hasn't been filmed on the island. On the island, it was actually it was filmed in Poland, in the southern part of Poland, Silesia, all right, as we call it. And just a few days ago, we were shooting another video for the album, for the song Exiles of Pantheon. Also with the same crew, which is a filming agency called 9 Letters. Okay, and yes, I thought that these themes we were talking about, they call for visualization. So this is like a next step. It's not just music, but also some stories to be filmed, and in this way we can convey more messages. We can show more meanings, what it is all about, and it's very important, I think. And same with the shows. I mean, from now on, I'm pretty sure that our stage will look different, and will be more elaborate, more fancy stage, designs. Yeah, because it is necessary, to visualize some ideas on this album, on our live shows as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing that at some point.
Absolutely, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, this is also it's an interesting album because you've split with a couple of members since the previous one. So this is the first album with Nasir on drums. Did Tiemis play bass on this, or is he more the live musician?
He's actually one of the band members right now, and and he joined us not long ago. It was right before the pandemic started, actually, because we were playing a European tour with Belphegor and Suffocation back then, and before that tour started, we had a big problem because our previous drummer, a long-time drummer actually, his name is Pavulon. He announced that he had a really big health issue, and it's something that would take time to recover, and it really sounded very, very serious. So it was his suggestion that we hire somebody who could replace him. And I found this young guy he's just 20 something years old, and we only played a few rehearsals with him before that tour started. Okay, and he proved to be very, very good drummer and like a complete musician. Okay, at this stage, I was really surprised, I must say. And after that tour, that tour actually had to stop right in the middle because of the pandemic. Okay, so we didn't finish it. We came back from Switzerland to Poland, and then it was clear that no concerts would happen in the foreseeable future. So we were in a situation that we could do something with the time given, all right, make best use of the time, and Pavulon then informed us that he couldn't continue with us, okay, because of those problems. Yeah. So So we started making new songs or continuing with the compositions, because I actually originated some songs with playing with Pavulon, okay, but then we continued with this young, energetic, and very enthusiastic drummer, you know, and this is one positive thing about this pandemic, that if it wasn't for it, it would probably take us at least 1 year more, or maybe even longer to make the album. Okay, but in that situation, we had a lot of time. We could. We weren't in a hurry at all. We weren't pressed for time and or pressed or any pressure from the label, you know. So we just wanted to we were trying to make the best use of the time. And then after 8 months or something like that, when I said that we are ready to actually start recording, the label gave us the green light, and we started recording. And yes, and here we are with the new album, you know. Long story short, yeah.
Oh, very good. And just from the two songs that have been released so far, it's clearly um, not to disparage the previous album, but it's Hate sounds re-energized on this new music. It sounds so ferocious and so vicious, you know. So
yeah,
at least that's one listener's opinion, anyway. Obviously, bringing in new musicians, how was it different in terms of songwriting this time as opposed to Auric Gates?
It was actually the process looks very similar every time. It's me coming up with some main ideas, okay, on which we work first with the drummer, then with the guitarist and the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And before entering the studio, we actually made like full pre-production with all the songs. There were more songs actually, something like 12 altogether. So we made a proper pre-production in another studio, and then we had to decide which songs to choose from those from all those songs, because we simply couldn't afford to spend half a year in the studio. Okay, we had to confine ourselves to say 9 songs, and because the new drummer is, let's say, more death metal oriented himself. Okay, he's a great fan of death metal, and we actually share a lot of interest in music. Okay, so it was easy to work with him, and it's kind of a phenomenon, because he's really young, but his parents are metalheads. Okay,
Oh,
and he really got a very good education at home, to the point that when he said that he would join Hate, his mother opened a drawer and she took out a cassette. Okay, it was our second demo from 1992 or 1993, I think. Yeah, and she said, "Look at this. Okay, I still have it." So, you know, anyway, answering your question, it's he really brought a lot of energy. Okay, and I wanted to expose his fantastic skills here and there. So there are more technical parts in the songs than, for example, on our previous album. Okay, so definitely his drumming influenced my thinking and my way of composing the songs as well, I think. Yeah. So, you know, it's like joining forces. You always have, with other musicians, you always have some new phenomenon, and you can you can hear this on the album for sure.
Excellent.
It's a bit different, yeah.
No, very good. Um, Something else very striking is the artwork, which is very cool art. It seems strange now that I know that it's based. The title comes from an island and the pagan religion around there. It seems kind of strange that the artwork is more of a figure than, say, a landscape or something like that. But how satisfied are you that the artwork represents the music and represents the idea and theme of the album?
I really like the artworks on the album, and it's kind of it's very enigmatic, as you see, okay, because it's really hard to describe the figure on the. It's a more of a symbolic figure. I think we understand it as a, let's say, a representation of a Slavonic deity, something like this, you know. And there's a this figure has a rune sign here, which represents the letter Odin, which means unity. Okay, and also in the layout there is the same rune combined with the inverted cross, which represents the unity in paganism. Okay, you can translate it like that. Anyway, this was made by our very good friend. His name is Daniel Rusiłowicz. If you want me, I can spell it to you later, or just write it down here in the conversation. He's been actually with us for many years, since Erebos album in 2010. And he's been an author of many layouts and also you know, t-shirt designs and a lot of other stuff connected with the band. So he really is into the band and the atmosphere, and he was listening to the songs many times before he came up with the idea, you know, how to visualize it, how in his opinion the proper layout should look like, you know. And then it was very, since the beginning, his ideas were very good, I think, very, you know, conveying this atmosphere from the album, you know, that there's something wild and something which is not well defined also, you know, some mystery. And I thought to a few I talked to a few journalists about this layout, and everybody saw something else in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which means that this is actually a good layout, because it is it can mean a lot of things to different people. Okay, it can animate a lot of associations, and yeah. So I'm really happy about it, I must say.
Excellent.
It's open for explanations, you know, different explanations.
Absolutely. It's interesting you're talking about the new drummer there and his mum digging out the old cassette and having that link to the past, you know, because this year also marks the 25th anniversary of the debut album. Was it important to have a new album out to coincide with that milestone, or is it just kind of a coincidence?
It's actually a coincidence, but we are thinking about some special release that would sum up our activity, you know, in a proper way. But I think it should be a DVD, a concert rather, than a studio album. And we've been talking about this with Metal Blade, and also with some other label which was interested in putting it out. And I think that next year We will focus on this idea because it would be great thing to have another DVD after so many years, where that would, as I say, summarize our activity, and it would be a great trophy for the fans as well. Some fancy release I could imagine. So we will talk about this for sure, and we will try to realize it next year. Yes.
Very good. You mentioned there, talking with Metal Blade about the DVD. This is the second album from Metal Blade, and obviously Hank has been on a few different labels before. What's different about Metal Blade to other labels that you've been on?
Well, I think the way they organize their work, generally speaking, they're very open for ideas. They're very open for discussions. They never say no. They are open to discuss a project at least. So this is very good. I mean, those guys are there for a reason. I think they are very much into this music, into this, not just the business, but also in the music. They understand much more from the music. Okay, and I think they also think of a collaboration with a band in a like longer perspective. It's not just this album, it's not just this video, but let's talk about the next steps, for example, what we can do together in the future as well. So this is a really different approach from other labels that we had collaborated with, okay, in the past. Really, I mean, it's a very nice change, I must say, and so far so good. Yeah.
Well, just finally then, obviously with the world starting to open up very slowly, but shows seem to be coming back here and there. What plans have you got to further promote Rugia?
For the last 2 years, we haven't played many concerts, obviously, but we actually had a lot of festivals and tours booked. All of them were either cancelled or postponed. So next year looks like very busy period for us. Okay, we actually have 4 tours, full-fledged tours, already booked for the next year, and quite a lot of festivals as well. So we will have a lot of opportunities if nothing bad happens, of course. Okay,
Of course.
we'll have a lot of opportunities to promote the album. And the first tour starts in February it's a tour with Suffocation and Belphegor again, because it is the same tour actually, which had to be stopped back then. So we are coming back with the same tour, but more shows this time. It's more than a month, covering Europe, without Scandinavia, okay, but the most part of Europe.
Yeah.
Then there is another tour with we play as a direct support to Vader, and it is Scandinavian and Baltic tour. Okay, so this is it's gonna be announced very soon, because everything has been booked already, and there's a poster already. So yeah, and then we have one more in Asia. It looks very, very attractive and interesting, because it covers all those, say, exotic countries like Taiwan, Thailand, South Korea, Hong Kong, China, Japan, and then Australia and New Zealand. Okay, we haven't been to Australia and New Zealand with the shows, never ever. So this is going to be the first time for us. But it would be also a second big tour, Asian tour for us. Okay, so great opportunity again. I'm looking forward to it. really. And we have a lot of offers from European festivals as well. Okay, and we're talking with our agent in America as well now. So a lot good things might happen. We'll see about
Good,
this.
good. I hope they do.
Mm.
Um, almost as much as you hope they do, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Adam, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me tonight, mate. I really do appreciate it. Dziękuję
I
bardzo.
appreciate it. Dziękuję bardzo sounds like Polish. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
tried.
Very good. Thanks a lot. Thanks a
No
lot
problem, mate.
for the
Look after
meeting.
yourself
Yeah.
and good luck with the album.
Oh, thanks very much, man.